All right. Hey, so today we're going to take a look at extension lesson 3-2, and it's just talking about harder distribution. So, just a brief review of some things that we have already learned, some review. Like terms, remember, like terms need to have the same variables, one or two, x, y is the same thing as yx, same variables, and those same exponents. So very, very important that we're remembering that. X, Y, and Y. X are like terms. X squared and X squared. And then your exponent rules. Those rules that we were practicing back in the extensions for Unit 2, I believe. Those exponent rules where if you have x to the a power times x to the b power with those same bases, that turns into x to the a plus b. I don't like the stylus that I have today. If you've got division going on, if you have x to the a divided by x to the b, again, with those same bases, that turns into the x to the a minus b. And then last but not least, don't forget about your powers to powers, where you have x to the a being raised to the b power turns into x to the a times b. And, last but not least, we're just going to squeeze this in over here. When in doubt, you can always expand, but I don't think that's going to actually help us here. So we're going to take that away. Never mind. All right, so there's a little bit of stuff there. Let's take a look at the first example. So again, you want to make sure that was that note. You want to make sure to follow order of operations. I knew there was a note of some sort. That gems. Mondays. So gems, order of operations G, that groupings tells us that I'm starting with anything inside the parentheses. So I've got two sets of parentheses. I'm starting within the innermost. So I'm starting over here with this 4a minus 5. However, 4a minus 5, those are not like terms, can't do anything with those, but I can deal with the multiplication or that distribution on the outside. So I'm just going to rewrite everything exactly as is to not mess anything up, including all those parentheses. Okay, and this is where I get different. So 2 times 4, those coefficients, 2 times 4 is going to turn into 8, and a times a is going to turn into a squared. Let's remind ourselves of that over here as well. Remember that x times x is x squared, and x plus x is 2x. That's that whole apples plus apples gives you apples, not oranges. X plus x does not turn into x squared. Multiplication, all rules are off though. Okay, so back to our example. So now we're taking that 2a and we're multiplying it by the negative 5. So 2 times negative 5 is going to be negative 10, and then that a. I'm going to carry down that other parenthesis, the big one, not the inside one, because I got rid of those after I did that distribution. And then my 6a squared minus 2a. Okay, so before I can start combining like terms, I do have some more distribution to do on the outside here, and this one's going to get a little bit more complicated. I need to multiply this 4a cubed by all three of these pieces on the inside of this parenthesis. And actually, though, I can make my life a little bit easier here by combining these two like terms first. Then I'll only have two things to distribute. Let's do that. So keeping my 4a cubed there, negative 1a squared plus 8a squared can very nicely turn into 7a squared. Again, same variables, same exponents. Minus the 10a, close my parentheses. Can't do anything with those two pieces as one's an a squared and one's just an a. So now I can do that distribution that I wanted to do before. So again, coefficients times coefficients, and then the variables times the variables. Keep it separate. 4 times 7 is going to turn into 28. And a to the third times a to the second, that would be 3 a's, a times a times a times a times a, which would turn into a to the fifth. Okay. 4 times negative 10 is going to turn into negative 40. And a cubed times a to the first is going to turn into a to the fourth. And now I can carry down those other two pieces. So just doing one last check, I do not have any like terms to combine here because I have an a to the fifth, an a to the fourth, an a squared, and just a plain old a. So that is actually my final answer, which I'm not even going to rewrite it. Final simplified answer. There are no more like terms. Or distribution or anything else that I can do. So there's that.